me smile, I'd be sitting here and smiling for a while. Although I know I make you cry sometimes, your happiness is ever on my mind. I cannot repay for everything you've done, but my love for you burns brighter than the sun. No matter where my feet and mind may go, my heart will lead to you and you alone. Guyana, Guyana, I'll be holding on to you forevermore.
Welcome to Tots and Teens in Focus. I'm your host, Patricia Trim, with Tots and Teens in Focus for youth of the community and how can the community help our youth. Today we have a very special guest. She is no other, she's an author, and an author, she has written several books, and it pertaining to family, children, the community. She will give us a full scenario of all what of her books and the idea, creativity, or the theology for the books, within the books, that can help our young people and help our parents and child relationship. So, Miss Jacquie Blackett, welcome you to Tots and Teens in Focus. I know you are in London. So this is a Guyanese British citizen who will be talking to you because she's talking to us from London. Welcome once again, Jacquie Blackett, to Tots and Teens in Focus. I know you're not a tot or a teen, but you're just right for the occasion. So once again, welcome. Give us, introduce yourself and tell us more about you.
I'm not a tot or teen, but I was a tot and teen. So I have got that experience and I know what is needed in life to enhance their life. Now, I originally was Wendy Jacqueline Halley from Maikoni, located on the east coast of Demerara in beautiful Guyana. I went to Victoria High School in New Amsterdam, and I used to live at 36 Stanley Town with my aunt. I used to reside with her. And after completing my higher education, I desperately wanted to start nursing. From a young age, I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to help people. For a start, my grandfather, who was a deacon with the churches in the Church of Scotland, um, he was a very revered man. He had about 36 grandchildren. Um, Several of them were older than me. But ironically, when my granddaddy was very poorly, my mother was looking after him because she lived nearby. And do you know, she sent me to help. And my grandfather died in my arms. And I said, for all the grandchildren, why has it got to be me? But I felt blessed. I felt blessed to be able to look after that religious, well loved and respected old man. And since then, the drive was even more. It was more forceful for me to get into nursing. I tried my best to get into Georgetown Hospital. I tried to get into New Amsterdam Hospital, but there was a brick wall. You had to be connected with somebody, this sort of nepotism and, friendship thing. And I didn't have anyone, but I tried and tried. And I was so desperate that I applied. I was told to apply to come to London. That was the Windrush when we were, Caribbean people. We were brought to help out the British because after the Second World War, there was a vacuum. There wasn't enough nurses. So they had to import nurses. You must have heard of the Windrush generation, we that came here to help. Also, men came and worked on the transport and the buses, the trains, and everything. So I was very fortunate to get in. And I know I could remember clearly I was interviewed by the great Dr. C.C. Nicholson. And when he interviewed me, there were lots of people. I think there were about 20 people in my batch who were interviewed. And he said, young lady, I'm so impressed. You're going to be a great nurse. And I got through. So I came to Standish Hospital in England, and I started my chest nursing, thoracic nursing. It was called BTTA, British Thoracic Association. And after completing that, I went and did my general nursing. That was in those days, it was state enrolled nurse. But the higher echelon was the state registered nurse. And after I finished my SEN, I did the state registered nurse, and I was very successful. So from then I went on and on and on. And I love nursing dearly. I transited into complementary medicine. Well, it's not transition because I put the two together. I was a nurse, and then I started to do complementary medicine,
What year was that?
acupuncture.
What year was that?
I did acupuncture in oh, sorry. Yeah, I came to England in 1969.
Okay, okay.
Don't add up my age now.
No, I'm not up your age. It's just that what
I've
you were
been there over
saying,
50
and and I
years.
wonder why more people didn't get into this nursing, like how they could have right straight to England in 1969, because we got our independence in 1966.
All right. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know. It was very rigid. Of say about, let's say 18, because I know of a famous West Indian cricketer, a Guyanese. His sister was one of those people who was interviewed with me. And I think it was about 4% got through. Honestly, so many people didn't get through. I was so disappointed, but I was happy for myself. I said, the Lord is paving the way.
Because you didn't do no nursing training, but they took you in to go and do nursing in England. That's beautiful.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they were looking at also your qualifications.
Okay.
And Victoria High School in those days was one of the front runners.
Was GC, right?
So
GC.
getting from Pardon?
It was GC, right? GC.
Yes. And I did well in that. But the thing is, the subject that I did best in was English literature.
Okay.
And look how things turned back. I got the highest marks for my batch in English literature. And then look how it panned out. I'm now a writer. See, so that is all things that you do, it's endemic in you. You just needed a chance to bring it out. So I did the nursing in 1969. And then years later, I went and started to do acupuncture. I heard about this miraculous Eastern treatment called acupuncture, and I saw doctors practicing it privately. And why I was so, hell-bent to do it, a white social worker in my ward, I was working on the terminal cancer ward, and the man had cancer. He worked in China. He was married to a German woman, He's British. And he said, Jackie, I know acupuncture is not going to cure me, but from what I see, it's a miracle. It's going to help to alleviate my pain. He said, I'm in so much pain. And they're giving me all these painkillers, knocking me senseless. He said, I just wanted some acupuncture to help to lessen the pain. And I went and spoke to the consultant on his behalf. And you know, they thought it was an alien medicine. I said, the man has got to pay for it. So they refused him. And I was so enraged that I thought about it. And the man died days later. I was so enraged. I said, as I said in one of my books here, no, this is a leaflet, a little sanctuary. This is the biggest prayer group in the world, and I'm a member. And they often interview me. They even sell my books.
That is Unity, or that's a different brand? The prayer group that you're in?
It's not. No. It's a holistic. It's multinational, multiracial, multi-faith, Muslim, Sikh, Christians, everybody, and all over the world. And these people have got my books now selling all over the world. They're based in Blackpool, England. And as I said to them about this man, I said, I thought it was morally wrong to deny a terminally ill patient a last request, especially one which the patient believed would alleviate suffering. My anger was not leveled at the doctors who were responsible for the patient's medical care. It was directed at the general foundation of Western medicine, which perceives itself as the indisputable bastions of medical territory. They thought they are the best in the medical territory. They didn't want to bring in any, and do you know, now several doctors have left Western medicine and are practicing acupuncture, or they're combining their Western medicine treatment with acupuncture.
I had acupuncture.
They feel that because it's not a British thing, it's not a Western thing, but a lot, even when I went to
they use it in America here because I got it several times.
It's prejudice. People are prejudiced for everything. Even if you look at religion, I don't want to deviate, but one church is going to say the other church is wrong. They are the true way to God. But the only true way or passage to God is through yourself.
Yes. Consciousness.
You know that, yes.
Spiritual consciousness.
No church can lift you up. It's how you behave, how you act towards fellow human, and how you look at people. So I did my acupuncture and I went away and did it and got first class honors. I trained with doctors from all over the world. I got the second highest score in the history of the university, 10 years existence. And you know who beat me by one? A brilliant Egyptian pharmacist. Yeah, I got the highest mark.
You should be a teacher now, teaching people.
Said, you know, things are in you. When you are, you know, passionate about something, you stick to your guns.
Yeah.
And you make it. After coming back from acupuncture, and I practicing acupuncture on patients and their success, even one woman found that she couldn't get pregnant. And do you know what acupuncture does? It relaxes you. When things happen to you, there's an imbalance in the body. And what acupuncture does is to address that imbalance. One woman couldn't get pregnant, and she came to me, and she had about 6 treatments, and next thing, she fell pregnant. It's not me, it's just me channeling our body
Right.
to, when you have acupuncture for pain or what. And what another thing acupuncture does, it releases the endorphins in you. You heard about the
Okay.
endorphins. They're like endomorphin. Those are your happy, those are the things that help you to cope with the pain, to be happy. I put acupuncture in people and they start laughing because it boosts them up. You see, it's called endorphins, it's called the happy hormones. And after that, I was encouraged to write books. So I wrote my first book. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm listening.
I wrote this book. This is my first book, which is called Holistic Guide.
Oh, and the holistic guide. Okay.
Yeah. But holistic is embracing the whole. It's embracing Western medicine and Eastern medicine. So I've put a collection of advice in here about Western medicine, and I've given the various branch of traditional medicine, which is acupuncture, herbal medicines also. Okay. I've also mentioned in that about the goodness of meditation. People look at meditation, they do, it's a wonderful concept. It helps you to
Yeah.
relax, right? And it brings you up to where you should be. And in this part here, you were talking about children. I've addressed a lot of things affecting children. I've also written a chapter on young people.
Yes,
And I've
because
talked about, pardon,
no,
here's a
I say
chapter
yes because
called,
children need to hear this.
yeah, discussing the welfare of the young. See, I've mentioned young people a lot because
You could read a
the
part
time
about
of
that. You could read a part about that with the young people.
yeah, all right. I started by saying growth in grace, and that's by what? Lord, 'tis a pleasant thing to stand in gardens planted by thy hand. Let me within thy courts be seen, like a young cedar, fresh and green. There grow thy saints in faith and love, best with thine influence from above. Not Lebanon, with all its trees, yields such a comely sight. Life, nature decays, but grace must strive. Time that does all things else impair, still make me them as these. The plans of grace shall ever flourish, strong and fair. That's encouragement for young people. I choose that chapter by grace.
Okay.
By Watts. Yeah, it's a big. I
So
wrote a
now, what
big
is
chapter
life
about
in
children.
London? What is life in London?
Oh, life in London is not different from any other place.
Okay.
And this is a misconcept a lot of people get. You know, you're here and the people in Guyana think, oh, life in London, you're picking things up, you know, gold and money from the street.
Remember we had a saying that what you think is about is life. You think you're life in London. So we always life in
People
London.
think that. And some people are even envious towards you because you look, I'm not here. I'm I'm a dedicated Guyanese. I've
Mhm.
left home since 1969. I've been back about what? About 20 times, I think. You know, going back on holidays, take my children back, go back on debts and things like that. I'm
Mhm.
not one of these people who think that being in London is going to make me. I make myself. I am the author of who I am. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It's up to you
To
to
make it
make
happen.
something of yourself.
Mhm.
So I wish people wouldn't think that it's all glowing in London. We go through hardships we're going through a lot of
Like
hardships
if you're in
now.
Guyana, you go through hardship as though you're in Guyana.
Yeah.
But what happened? What happened with Guyanese people is that they know they have family outside, and, they say, oh, you could send it to change me, and you will take, you're going to take a $50 and you send it, or you take $100 and you send it to them. But then when you send that, you still struggling, and they happy because you send, but you are struggling, and they don't know that you are struggling. But you can't send and ask them for anything.
But they're open to television. They know. They're
Mm.
just, some people are, it's not Guyanese alone. People, look, it's, what's his name? Barrow, the Prime Minister of Barbados. And my husband is Beijing. And Barrow was his favorite. He and Eric Williams,
Uh-huh.
no, Tom Adams, sorry,
Tom
the
Adams
other
and
prime minister,
Barbados. Uh-huh.
they were friends. But he
Mm.
couldn't stand Tom Adams. It's not that he hated him, because he liked Barrow and Barrow's, the way Barrow does things and how Barrow, he was
Mhm.
telling me when Barrow travels,
Mhm.
like some of these prime ministers, they've got an old cortege with them. Barrow pulling his case alone. Barrow told the Barbadian people, look, you want to go to London to see how those people struggling? They have to get up early and go in the cold to go to work. Don't keep asking them for things, and be grateful. I've given people things back home. I've
Mhm.
sent things, and you know what? They say, is this all you send in?
Yeah.
Yes. People say you talk to, but that thing's very annoying. I'm a married woman. Well, was a married woman. I'm now a widow. I had a husband. I got 3 children. I've got a mortgage to pay for my house. I've got to pay for my children's education, but they don't look at that. And I
Well,
think they should
because we
stop it
send.
now.
Because when they call, we send.
Oh,
So that's why, but that is the ideology that foreigners give people in Guyana or in the Caribbean, that they can do so much, because when they come to Guyana or they come to the Caribbean, they're going to buy a lot of cheap clothing and come, and you might see the changing steady. So you feel that, oh, life in London with them, because the Queen lived in London. So everything was life in London, So they always have
but
that
let's
ideology
be
that
practical.
things come easy when you're out of Guyana
Let's,
or out of any other country.
but even sources to pack. Let's be reasonable. The
Mhm.
people come here and they work hard. If they go back home on holiday and dress up on what? It is their business. That
That's
is
right.
why now the economies are lacking the help of Guyanese. A lot of Guyanese are going to Spain on holiday, to Portugal on holiday. They're not going home because they're frightened how the people behave. I've never, ever in my life depended on people. I don't take. I'm a giver. And if I'm giving, don't you dictate to me that
How
I should
much
give
to give?
you all in my purse.
I really need you to have this talk on Talk of the Town, because it's very good. I know this is Brick Art Media. We got a short time, but a discussion of the items and the books and the your
But
theology, and also
I've
the
written 2 more
different
books.
holistic thing that you have is very good for the Guyanese for the Guyanese community and the Caribbean community, so they can hear, because we always say life in London. You know, someone is getting what? You got life in London.
I hear people saying people come to show off and all that thing. You don't talk like that. It's a bit backward. Well, show off on who? Oh, you can come
Well,
leave
that
here
was
and
it.
go
That was the talk that we always had. You got life in London, right? You
people
know,
should change.
yes, that's like, you know, it happened years and years ago.
Well, the other two books I wrote, this is one called 50 Question and Answers. You know, after I wrote my first book, the Voice newspaper in London, which is the largest minority paper, they heard of my book and they asked me to work with them. So I was their health columnist. And the people used to write in questions for me to answer. And I used to give the answer every week in the papers. But then the Barbadian embassy in your way, in
Guyana, in
in
Caribbean.
New York.
Okay,
They had a jamboree where they had Bajan writers come in with their books to New York and talking. So that was in 2007, I think. And I was invited. I'm not a Bajan, but they know a lot of Bajans make a fuss of me, you know, because I'm married to a Bajan and my husband was a well-known and liked person, very quiet, the opposite to me. But, you know, the Bajans always invite me. Even the newspapers in Barbados, The Nation and the other one, they did articles on me. So after I had to go to this jamboree in 2007, I had to sort of divorce myself from The Voice, the newspaper. But in the meantime, there were so many questions sent to me. So I put it in this booklet and published the booklet. So this is my second book called 50 Questions and Answers.
You ever had any
And
interview
then-
by Guyanese? Guyanese?
Pardon?
You ever had an interview by the Guyanese community or the any one of
I was not since my books. I have been promised to when I wrote this last book.
Any journalists ever call you or make contact with you about your books?
Somebody, I have got to be careful. A high-ranking Guyanese who is an academic. When I wrote this,
Think about the ways you make me smile. I'd be sitting here and smiling for a while. Although I know I make you cry sometimes, your happiness is ever on my mind. I cannot repay for everything you've done, but my love for you burns brighter than the sun. No matter where my feet and mind may go, my heart will lead to you and you alone.